Okay everyone, welcome to a One Piece card game instruction video using real cards. This is we're going to show exactly what everything does, how everything's played, where things go, and just the absolute beginner's guide. We'll start first with what's in this box. It's what we just ripped open right now. It contains of 10 Dawn cards, contains 1 leader card, and 50 main deck cards that vary from very different characters depending on the structure deck you purchased. It can be one of 4. It's Crocodile Luffy, Kaido, and Eustace Kid. The first thing we're going to show you is exactly where everything goes to be set up. Your Dawn deck is right here. It's really cool. This game comes with a playmat just like this, and it's the perfect beginner's guide to know where everything goes in the game. So you just follow where everything goes. Your Dawn deck would be this. The Dawn cards, they're all identical, plus 1,000 power. They go right here, face down. Your cost area is where your activated Dawn will be going. Leader card will go here. You get 1 leader. And these are your main deck cards. They will be going right over here. In the main deck, it's the only place that we have different types of cards. We have a multitude of different types of cards with different abilities. We have a Monkey D. Luffy, for example. We're going to pull out a few different cards to show you what they can do and what are their different abilities. So over here you have cards like Luffy, who has an ability that says rush on him, which means that you may attack on the turn in which it is played. Those are all special abilities. These are event cards. Event cards are cards that can be played as a trigger during the opponent's turn or during your main phase. You have blocker characters that are essentially there to block incoming attacks to protect your characters or your leader. And there is a stage type card. These are the cards with the blue background. A couple of the decks have them. These are always placed only on the stage card area. Their cost will be up here. That's the same for every card. Every card has a cost. It's always in the top left corner. That's the Dawn that you have to play to use it. So if the stage goes there, and we were to play a card, let's say you were the second turn player, you would have 2 Dawn. They would go right here as you play. With 2 Dawn, I can activate a 2 cost card because it has 2 cost. What you do is you rest the cards like this. Then you get to play it. If there's nothing else you can do, you would pass your turn there. Or you can attack. To attack in this game, you rest your characters or leader. Rest means to put the character sideways like this, so that it's not active anymore and it shows that it attacked. Cards have different power levels. It should always be on the top right corner over here. 5,000 power, 5,000 for 3 cost, 3 cost for 5,000. And then all the cards have different type of effects that come out. That's the most important thing that you want to read up on a card to know which cards you would even want to play. In the beginning of a game, over here, using the playmat that was given to you with the starter decks, you can see that we placed everything correctly. You have your life cards that go here, leader card here, the Dawn deck over here. At the very beginning of a game, what you would do is you would roll a dice to see who would go first. Let's say you got to go first. The first thing you would do is draw your first 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. With these 5 cards, you can either choose to keep them if you like them, or if you don't, you get to once per time during the very beginning of the game, mulligan, where you put your deck, your hand back into your deck and you shuffle it, and then you get a brand new hand. So let's say we want to keep this. This is good. We're gonna show our hand right here. And then the first thing that you would do is go to refresh phase. But before that, you also have to play your life. Life comes over here at your leader. You look at the leader's life level over here. This character has 5, so we would take 5 cards from the top of the deck and place them right here in the life pile. Life in this game is how you win or lose the game. When your leader is attacked, you would take a life card and either add it to your hand. Now, there's a draw phase, but the turn player 1, since we're going to go first, we don't get a draw phase. So that gets skipped. Only after turn 2, everybody draws 1 card per their draw phase. Over here we get a Dawn phase. The turn player 1, they get one single Dawn. After that, everybody for their next draw phase, after turn 2 and on, they get 2 per turn. So first is 1, second player gets 2, then third gets 2, and on and on. Then we have a main phase. Over here we can see what we want to play. We have cost for cards. These are on the top left corner. That shows you how much a card costs. To play a cost, you would shift one of your Dawns sideways like this to show it is rested. Then you can play a card. Let's say you want to play Chopper. Or you can play something like Nami over here. Cards have different abilities, and they're usually about a sentence or 2 long, and they do something different, all of them. This one right here gives once per turn a rested Dawn to my leader or one of my characters. When you give a Dawn to a character, you would put it underneath it to show that it gained that power up to his attack points just this turn. So we're going to play Nami for starters. Then we would pass our turn because there's nothing else we can do. You cannot attack on your first turn or the second turn. Nobody can attack. After that, you go right to your end phase. And that's right. Since we paid the 1 cost, it would go to sideways like this because it is rested now. So you cannot use it again for any other reason unless a specific ability allows you to. So let's say turn 2 when your opponent played, they played maybe 1 card or something. Then it's back to your turn. Now we're on turn 3. On turn 3, you go to a refresh phase where everything that attacked would go back to active, meaning face up like this, upright. Also, this Dawn card gets to be put back upright. Then you would draw 1 card. Now in your Dawn phase, you get 2. So now you would have 2, 3 active Dawn to play with. So now you can play cards that cost 3 or more. So right now also is a turn that we can attack. So you don't always have to rush onto playing a card. Sometimes you want to attack first. So let's say you have Luffy here that's 5,000. He can always attack. When he attacks, he'll have to go sideways to be rested, and then he can't attack after that unless a specific ability allows him to do so. So then after he attacks, an opponent would take a life or take damage, or you can attack a character. Characters can only be attacked when they are rested like this, meaning if a character is active, it cannot be attacked unless the card has an ability to do so. So let's say we attacked with Luffy to their leader or something. Now we get to some cards to play. I want to rest 1 to play my Chopper. Chopper is unique. He is a blocker character. The blocker symbol means that you get to block and attack. So we're going to rest 1 to play him. We're going to rest 2 to play our stage card over here. This stage card lets me activate once per turn. Our leader or a character card gains 1,000 power during this turn. So now we're going to activate this thing's effect, give her 1,000 power this turn. Now she can attack for 2k instead of her usual 1. So let's say we had her attack. She'd stay rested. Then as you end your turn, you would see that you have a rested character. She's vulnerable to attack. So let's say it's your opponent's turn. They begin to attack. You can activate Chopper's effect over here, which is a blocker. A blocker allows you to turn this and make it the new target of the attack. So there you go. And everything that dies goes to the trash pile in this game. And that's basically how a turn 3 would look, a turn 4 would look. Besides that, the next turn would go to refresh phase. Everything goes back face up. So that everything's ready to use. You get 2 more Dawn. You'd be at 5. You draw another card. And now, as the game progresses, you get to play more stronger characters as you go. For example, we have a 4 cost for a 6k attack, Franky. But cards cannot attack on turn they're played, so you'd have to wait a turn. But for the next turn, you'd have a really powerful attacker. Another thing that we can show you, let's say you are getting attacked. It's the opponent's turn. Let's say he's at 6,000. Somebody is attacking you with a fellow Franky. Let's say it's Franky battling Franky. A character, for it to die in battle, it has to equal to or exceed the attack power. If it's a draw, the person that's being attacked dies. What you can do to protect your cards is drop what we call counters. Counters are on the side of cards over here that read 1,000 plus for a counter. So you would, in the battle, discard this to give it 1,000 power to protect it from something that's a 6k attack or less. So that way your guy would survive for the next turn. And we also have leader cards here. I mean, these aren't leader cards. These are basically your stronger cards. I call them your boss monsters. And they have rush abilities. Certain cards like Luffy here has rush. The turn it is played, it can actually attack, basically bypassing the rules of everyone else. So yes, there's certain abilities for everybody. And the game is really interactive, and I hope you give it a shot.